All right, so let me see who all are there. I hope everybody is there. Sound is coming clear. Just to make sure that we all connect properly. Hold on. All right, so this one here. All right, so welcome to my channel and welcome to my Facebook page. If you're here for the very first time, I would like to congratulate you that you took out some time to learn one of the most powerful skill, that is communication skill. Now, when I'm saying this, trust me, it is one of the most difficult skill. The reason being, I have struggled in it for so many years. See, today, if I talk about my background, I am today in a business where I deal with a lot of people. I on a regular basis talk to people. And I can assure you that if you're here for the very first time, you will find that these skill sets are very important for you as well. So why don't you do one thing? Let me start connecting with you and let me become comfortable with you because I cannot see you right now because we are online. But what I would like to do is, why don't you do guys say me hi and where are you from? Which city you are logging in from, so that I can know a little bit about you, so that I can get started and I can start talking to you. And I hope audio is clear to all of you. Can you share me something? Show me some symbols so that I can know you are able to hear me proper. And we'll go. I'm not a guy who is very good in technology, but I didn't want technology as a barrier to stop communicating with you. So I hope everything is going fine. So just give me a hi and tell me which city you are logging in from, where are you logging in from, and we'll have a great time together. So today, as I told you, we will be talking about one of the most powerful skill, that is communication skill. So let me start together, and I'll just be there with you for half an hour. The way it will go is we will have a question answer session also. So in the end, when I get it done, so what you can do is you can ask me certain questions and I will answer some of them for you. And if I cannot answer it for any reason, let's say technology fails, so what you can do is you can drop me a message and I'll connect back to you. In the end, I will also give you a form where you can nominate yourself for further training such like this so that we can be in touch with you. So let me start with a very simple question. Let me start with few set of questions for you. Have you ever felt that you are making a presentation and you see the crowd is lost? Crowd is not with you anymore. You're talking, but you start feeling that people are connected. Have you felt, if I give you another question, have you felt many times that you work hard in your company and your boss or your manager is not able to see that you are putting that much of effort? Have you felt it? Yes, you might have. Have you felt it that you're talking to your spouse, and especially when you're married for more than 5 years? Very new when you are married, it actually doesn't matter because the love is so strong that even if communication is weak, still it is acceptable. But after 5 years or 10 years of marriage, it is not easy to build that relationship if you're not good in communication skill, isn't it? So you might have felt all this thing, and if you have children, you might have realized that many times you're talking and your children don't understand what you're talking. If this is your situation right now, in any of these 4 5 categories which I talked about, then what it means is somewhere down the road, you are like me when I was in 2008. Till 2008, I was a person who was not able to connect with people. I was able to talk, and I used to think that talking is communication, talking is connection. And as a matter of fact, I'll tell you, there was a study being conducted. I was going through this study today. They said that on an average, a single individual comes across 35,000 messages per day. 35,000. It's a whopping number. So they come across 35,000 messages per day through many various media, social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. They might be on, let's say, WhatsApp or Telegram or whatnot. There are multiple chatting media today. So you are bombarded with 35,000 plus messages. Now, question is, which message would you log in? Which message would you tune in? Which message would you tune out? I mean, who will decide that? Again, connecting principles. And not only that much, although study has been found that you are bombarded with 35,000 plus messages, and deep within, the individual also want to talk, and more than 16,000 plus words individual communicate. Now, what 16,000 words means, let me give you some graphical imagination so that you understand. 16,000 words means that a 300-page book, you can easily write down a 300-page book if the transcribe whatever you say every day basis the words, let's say 16,000 plus words you are saying on a day, if they are being transcribed, actually every week you will end up completing a book of 300 pages. It means in a year you will end up writing, if you're transcribed, if your words which you are speaking are transcribed and translated into a book, you will end up having more than 54 books in a year. It means in your entire lifespan, you will have close to a book which is more than 4,000. It means you'll have a library filled of books. That is words. Now, question is not about talking. You can talk, but question is it really making sense? Is those words has a meaning? Does it help others? Is the question. It's not about speaking. Speaking is easy, but connecting is most difficult, and that is where I'm going to help you. So questions are very simple. I'll tell you one thing. Connecting can actually make you or break you. Isn't it true? Actually, a study of Harvard University has been conducted, and they said the number one criteria of advancement and promotion for a professional is an ability to communicate effectively. I see more than 20, 30 people have logged in. So why don't you guys say some hi and all? We've just started. And you can say me some hi message and your city, your location, so that you can still be connected with me. And we're talking about that connecting is the key. If you want to connect, and if you do not connect, actually connecting will make you or break you overall. So you have to learn how to connect effectively. Now, when I say connection, connection happens at three levels. Three level. What does three level mean? You're a human being, you'll be connecting people at different forums. Sometime you'll be connecting people one on one. When I say one on one, you're having relationship, let's say your children, your spouse, your subordinates in your office. So you'll be talking one on one. Many times you'll be connecting in terms of groups. And if you're a public speaker like me, you will be many times connecting in an audience. And each of these three need a different principles of communication, needs a different principles of connecting. And we'll talk about it in more detail. Now, first, how do you know whether you're connecting? Let's take an example. In one on one, if you have a deep rooted connection with your people, a deep rooted connection, you know what will happen? Your one on one relationship, you'll see people are performing beyond their work and office hours. Then you know that people are connected with you. And if in your marriage, and how will you know that you are well connected? In your marriage, you will see that even if small things you do which the spouse do not like, still she will be able to forgive you. She'll be able to relax. The reason is she connects with you. So this is the way you'll identify. Now in a group, I'll tell you whether you are connecting in a group or not. I'm just giving you symptoms. In a group, if you're connecting and if you're connected well, what you will see is very quite surprising. The group's chemistry and the group's dynamic will be extremely high. What does that mean? Very simple. See, now let's say you are working in a project. Okay, there are 20 plus people in that project. And if the group dynamics is strong, what will happen? Efficiency of the group will be extremely high. But if people are not connecting, what will happen? There'll be stress among each other. People will get offended quite easily with each other. And what will happen is productivity will be hampered. So, most importantly, so you will come to realize that if people are connecting in the group or not, the group's chemistry will be higher. People will have spirit for each other. People will have compassion for each other. They will feel the pain for each other. And these all things are nothing but a basic way of communicating with people. And it is very, very important that we should learn it. Now, question is how to do it. So first, let me tell you, I was also struggling, and why people struggle. Now we are a family of three brothers and sisters, and I am the most younger most. And when I say younger most, we are like three children for 2 years of age gap. So when I was born, my elder brother was already 2 year elder to me, and my sister was 4 year elder to me, and they already had developed a strong chemistry among each other. And I was a guy who was not getting that much of. I mean, it happens, right? The three is always an odd number, and with odd number, connectivity becomes very less. So what happened? They were always closely bonded, and I was. It's not that they were secluding me, but that chemistry was not evolved. And once my sister's marriage got over, and we were two left, and we developed very strong chemistry eventually. And what I found was, it will typically happen that when you're a group of two or three siblings, what you will see is one or two people, not one of them will be really good in communication. And because of that person, what will happen slowly, because of our parenting, because most of us are not having any parenting knowledge also. So that comparison and that stress, what happens slowly, it creates a stress in your life, and you will not be able to cope up with it. Now, it depends what sort of parenting it is. It depends what sort of attitude you have also. Everything cannot depend on parenting also. Many times it is our own attitude as well, which decides whether we will be able to understand or not. So what happens is, so my brother was good in it. When I talk about my brother, he is a gem of a person. He's a genius. The brain he carries about, I mean, he can take any subject in his hand and he can master it in less than 2 days. Terrific, brilliant. Not only that much, he was from childhood having a terrific leadership ability. He was president in his college. Wherever he went around, people were big fan of him. And I was always a guy who was not having courage to speak. And I was always in low limelight. And I never spoke. I never got the practice ground. I never, I mean, actually, if you ask me, my intellectual development did not started until I one day left home and went to my IIT campus in 2004. It means when I was born in 1978 till 2004. What is the age? I mean, 1978 till 2004, we are talking about 26 years of age. Till 26 years of age, if you ask me, I was a person who will sit in a secluded place, isolated. I will not be comfortable talking to anybody. Never. I will not even utter a word. I mean, if somebody is sitting near me, I will not say hello also. Hello, how are you? I'll not say that also. And if you tell me go and speak in public, I will like sweating. I mean, no, I cannot speak. Today you may not believe it. Today I speak in public, and today you may not. But that is how I've grown up. Now, why? I'll tell you three or four reasons why most of us struggle to communicate. And typically, if you're a boy generally do not like communicating much. I mean, girls naturally communicate better. Boys generally don't develop it. And I'll give you three or four reasons why they don't develop. First is we have a habit of staying aloof, or we have a lack of belief. Now, where does lack of belief came? This lack of belief came because we get into comparison mode. Did somebody compare with us? Doesn't matter. Sometimes we ourselves compare. And when we go into comparison mode, what happens is we don't connect with people. And then we have a fear. We don't talk. Then we always keep like, isolated like this. And we're always alone. We don't want to talk. Second thing, we have a fear of rejection. Now, what do we mean by fear of rejection? Now, let's say I'll tell you a hello. Now, what is the guarantee you will respond saying back a hi? I do not know. What happens out of it is that we do not want to fail, so we don't even take an initiative. I'm a guy who travel almost every month, one or two cities. I love traveling. Traveling is my passion. And whenever I travel, I was reading in one of the book that you will observe this in the flight. You will see, right, this air hostess. The moment you get into the gate, they'll say good morning, good evening, or whichever time frame you come in. And the book wrote that 80% people do not even smile them back. So I didn't believe it. I said, how come it is possible? Out of courtesy, people at least smile, right? If they say hello, or if they say, how are you? Good morning. At least it's a common courtesy, right? You'll say good morning. I didn't believe it. And when next time when I took a flight, what I did was I was sitting in row number 13 in aisle seat. And I was sitting in the aisle seat. I went earlier. First, I started observing the reaction of people. And what I found was it is really true that people do not respond. The air hostess was saying good morning. It was 4 o'clock early morning flight, and she was saying good morning to all of us. Just very charming smile. And what I saw was most of people do not even do eye contact. They're talking like this. They're all like this. And I was saying, man, what is this? How come they're not saying? And then I realized the reason is most of people from the childhood they've developed a habit that I do not initiate. Why? Because either you can say it ego, you can say it fear, you can say whatever term you want. But what I feel is it's not ego. I would say rather it's a fear of criticism or fear of failure. I would say rather, I would not say ego. It's not ego always, but majorly we have a fear of rejection. So we do not want to get rejected. So what we do? Okay, we'll not even talk. That's what happens with most of them. And third thing which happens because, and that is again related to the first one, when you go into comparison mode, we do not like ourselves and we lose confidence. So there's three reasons people do not talk. And you'll always see in your classroom the advantage of getting connected. I mean, real life when you see connect, I'll talk about very simple way. In my college days, I remember there was a guy. His name is Suprit, and genius. I mean, he was again a genius person. In my college days, he was the guy who was good in sports. He was good in studies. He was topper, and he was quite a good communicator. He was always you'll see it's like a simple movie star sort of person who is good in studies and also he's good in other extracurricular activities. And I was seeing that he was always in demand in all the places. Everybody knew him. I mean, starting from first hostel to our fourth hostel, our hostels were east, west, north, and south in UC Burla, and in each hostel, people are aware of him. In contrast, I'll talk about one more person was there, and I don't remember his name, and as of now, but he was also topper. He was among top 10, by the way. But he never interacted with anybody. Very few people, except our branch electrical engineering. Nobody knew him. He was studious, but he was a guy who was never interacting. Now, when I see the career span of both this person, one of the person, I mean, based on how much they developed, but one person soared in their career much higher. Another person put a cap in his career. Only reason being he could not communicate. So I have given you enough reason that why you should communicate. In fact, I will give you a very simple example of Harvard study I've already told you. So now I will tell you that how can you actually connect. So it means if you have to connecting, first thing I'll tell you, write down in your paper that connecting is a learnable skill. Write it down. Because many times what happens, you start believing that I'm not good in communication, I'm not good in this, I'm not good in that. And based on that, you start programming yourself. Rather, what I would say today onwards, communication and connecting is a learnable skill. Write it down. And it will need some changes in you. And I'll tell you one thing, I'll share some slides with you, a couple of slides I have for you now. So I'll share some slides so that you guys can get it out. So slides I'm showing you, just a second. Let me hold on some slide for you. I'll show you. And here's the PPT. I'm sure you'll see a good way. It's visible to all of you, I'm sure. So let me take you this. So when I say changes, go to this, you'll find out. So changes will need courage. For that, I have given a very simple prayer, and it's a very, very renowned prayer. People have, in a lot of churches and a lot of books have written on this prayer. The prayer is, God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change. I repeat again, God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's an amazing poem. And why I'm starting you with this, because courage, if you do not have the courage, you cannot change, and that is most difficult part. So coming to the next slide, my observation, and these are my three observations about three categories of people. So if you, in anywhere you go, you'll see high achievers, you'll see average achievers, and you'll see lower achievers. And I've given four simple points in all these categories. So high achievers generally, if you see it very carefully, they care about the people as well as profits. Check it out. You might have seen recently, because of Corona and COVID-19, a lot of big companies, they have come up and given a lot of contingency plans that they will not fire people and all those things. So they are like high achiever companies. So what they do, they care about the people as well as the profits. Average achiever, they only concentrate on production. They will, and you might have seen a lot of managers, they cannot handle it. I mean, you work with them, they say, man, you have to come there. They don't care about your personal pain, they don't care about anything, they only care about his profit and production. Lower achievers, they are preoccupied with their own security, they are highly insecure people, and you will never see that they will able to communicate. Second point, high achievers, they will always view their subordinates optimistically. They will always view their subordinates optimistically. Whereas average achievers, if you see, they will focus more on their own status. For them, the status is more important. To subordinates doesn't matter. If my status is a little bit down, I don't care about anything else. For me, my status is so important. And the third thing is, when low achievers, they show basic distrust in their subordinates. They never trust on anybody. Third point we're talking about, they seek advice from those under them, and that's the first principle of connecting. If you want to connect with people, you have to appreciate people, and you have to take advice from them. It is not easy. Fourth, in this same regard, average achievers are reluctant to seek advice those under them. They will never say. Now I'll give a live example. I work with people, and there are a lot of people who work with me, and they're my partners. I take advice from them many times, and I find that their advice is better than what I was thinking. I cannot bring my ego in between. No, I'm the big shot guy, and it doesn't work that way. If many times I have got a lot of good ideas from the people who are working with me and who are reporting to me, and they bring an amazing idea, and I never let go of that idea, and I always give them enough credit that this idea was theirs, it is not mine, so don't give me the credit. I always do that. And low achievers, if you see low achievers, what they'll do, they will never seek advice. They always believe I am the whole and sole point for everything. If the idea has to come, it has to come only and only through me. Other than this, there cannot be any ideas. Fourth point, last point, they listen well to everyone. They listen well to the customers. They listen well to the subordinates. They listen well to the managers or the senior managers or in any of the company's directors. They listen to everybody. Average achievers, they listen only to superiors. And I was struggling with this for so many years. I mean, this is a bug which is in me. I would say not 100% deleted. 30% of this bug is still there, but at least I'm aware. When I'm training you right now, I'm aware that this bug need to be fixed. If I have to become high achiever in my life to a great extent, then I have to listen to everyone. Some extent I'm biased right now. I listen to only those people who are achievers, and that's something which I have to improve on. But the last category, if you see, they avoid communication and rely only on policy and rule book. So these are the three categories of people, and again, it is purely relying on communication skill. If it comes about principles of connecting, then I'll give you certain principles. How do you connect? And then I'll talk about after principles will come around skills of connecting. So the two things I'll give you if you want to connect with people. But before you go further, I mean, just I'll take a pause and I'll see. Let me connect with you all. So let me see something. I mean, if you have some comments and all given, let me listen to you and let me see if I can help you anywhere. Any questions you have, I'll look into it in the end. But yes, if you're here for the very first time, I can tell you subscribe to my YouTube channel right away, and you can get a lot of further information like this, and we'll continue this more and more. So again, coming back to the slide and sharing you back so that you guys can connect with me again, and back to this same slides we have. Just a second, we'll be back to here. Slides. All right. Yes, let me share again so that you can connect. All right. Yes, we're back to our slides. So principles of connecting. So when I talk about connecting, we'll talk about principles and we'll talk about skills. So when I talk about principles, there are four things which I found as far as principles is concerned. Number one, focusing on others. You cannot connect with people until you focus on them. So let's say, as I told, right, connecting, I'll talk in the end. Connecting at one-to-one level, I'll give you some idea connecting in the group, and I'll also give you idea connecting in an audience. So, but principles are same in all the three categories. Principle will be same. First principle is focus on others. If you have to connect, you have to forget yourself and you have to involve in people's life. So you have to focus on others. Second thing, you have to expand your vocabulary beyond just words. And I'll give you three, four questions which will help you to get started, because a lot of us struggle to connect with people. And I'll give you three to four questions which will help you to connect. Then, secondly, if you want to connect with people, you have to align all your energy. You have to align all your energy for connecting. It means you have to give 100% focus. It means I have to connect with you. I have to give my 100% energy to you. Otherwise, I cannot connect. Very, very important. And then the last point, last principle of connecting is you have to gain an insight in how great connectors connect. You have to get an insight. Let me talk about in the last slide I have given this. Presently in India, no, I'm not a guy who is much inclined towards politics, and neither I'm a supporter of BJP, neither I'm against of BJP. But somehow, like Narendra Modi's communication style, the way he put his point across, the way he put things. He's an amazing communicator. He's a big connector. See, I've never seen any other political party doing it Man ki baat, and that is nothing but he's trying to connect with people. He's trying to talk. Now, how much he's able to deliver, that is second. It's a political debate. But what I found, he's a great communicator. He's a great connector with people. He connect. And he's following all these principles. You check it out. He's following these principles. Then let's talk about skill sets. How do you connect? So let's come to skills. So skill says, if you I come out skill sets, then you need to do 4 to 5 things. Number one, you have to find a common ground. What is common ground? Let's talk about, I'll give you a few things of common ground. Common city. If I have to connect with somebody, common ground means city can be common, language can be common, culture can be common. So find some common ground to connect. Once you find some common ground to connect, people feel comfortable with you. Second point, make it simple. I'll tell you, art of the mark of a genius. The mark of a genius is taking complicated thing and making it simple. Write it down. It will help you. Mark of a genius is taking complicated thing and making it simple. Complicating is not difficult, folks. Simplifying is difficult. And they always say, if you cannot write down things in your words, it is complicated. You'll see a lot of complicated ideas will come, but once you put in paper, you'll realize it is not easy to put. So second thing, making your communication style extremely simple so that people can understand. Third, capture people's interest. If you want to connect, you need people's interest. See, if I have to talk to you, I have to find out what is your interest. You have to, in fact, I would, keeping this in mind, why did you guys share with me some of your experiences of failing in communication skills, how you failed, and what was your learning, so that we can learn from each other. And if you can talk about certain things, I would love to know some of your experiences. Don't forget to write in this comment so that people can learn from your mistakes and how you learned and how many points you are relating with this which I'm presenting right now. Third point, which is their fourth most important, you have to inspire people. If you do not inspire, you are not a communicator. And the last point, be authentic. Be extremely authentic. Why I mean say authentic? See, now I'm a I deal with a lot of people. I deal with thousands of people across the globe from different culture, different ethnicity background, and from different cultural background also I meet. And I realize one thing: if I do not believe in something, no point in talking about it. I'm not a preacher. I would say myself a teacher. Whatever I know, whatever I believe, I communicate. I communicate my passion to people. Very, very important. If you're not authentic, I'll tell you folks, you cannot connect. You don't have to impress anybody. You have to connect with people. You have to find out what they need. And for that, you need to be extremely authentic. Fourth point I'll talk about. Now we're talking about how to connect, right? So connecting one on one. See this 3 points I've given. If you have to connect one on one, so let's take an example. Your name, I'm talking to you right now, and I have to connect with you. So I'll tell you one simple example. Write it down. This is not in the slide, but it'll help you. If you want to connect anybody, prepare 2 to 3 questions, which I've written in point number 2. I'll give you those questions right now. 4 things you should know if you want to connect with anybody. You should know 4 things about them. What is, what do they sing about? What do they cry about? What do they dream about? What is the biggest aspiration? What is the biggest struggle? And what is the biggest fear? I repeat again, slowly, so that you write it down. If you want to connect one on one with anybody and you want to make sure that you are really connected well with them, you should know this following 4 to 5 points about them. What do they sing about? It means, in a simple term, what are they excited about in their life? What is their aspirations? What is their dreams? So it means, what do they sing about? What do they cry about? It means, what is it that which they do not like right now in their life, which they are not happy about? That is, they cry about. What do they dream about? What is their dreams? Where do they want to reach in their life? And then, what is the biggest fear? Because dream cannot come without fear. So what is the fear they're having? What was the biggest struggle? Let me ask you one thing, and let me tell you one thing. You talk to people, you'll realize everybody has a great story to talk. Everybody has a story, and that is inspiring. All inspiring stories are not documented, folks. All inspiring stories are not documented. You'll be surprised that one of your subordinate might be having a very inspiring story. My question to you is this: have you taken out some time to talk to that person? Your spouse might be having a very interesting story. Have you taken out time and connected with her genuinely? You will not realize your neighbor might be having an inspiring story which is not in book yet. But have you taken out some time to understand them, to connect with them? Yes, there will be some fear. There will be fear of rejection. But you know what? Be the first guy to take a handshake and say, "Hello, how are you? My name is this." Make it a habit from now on. Make it a habit of, we have seen enough small videos. Make it a habit from now on. If you reach office, not now, because now there's social distancing, but if you reach office, what you should do is, from make it a point, you cannot reach to your table without saying a hi and a hello to at least 10 people. Make it a point, and you see how beautiful the world becomes. That is how you connect, folks. So it means I have given you 4 to 5 questions. If you do that, you will connect well in one on one. Now let's talk about group. If you want to connect in a group, what will you do? So when I say group, what does it mean? Now, group and stage audience is different. Now, let's say when I'm talking to you right now, it is like I am in a virtual audience where I cannot see you face to face, but I have to feel. And the only way you can make sure that I'm connected well, that you start posting some comments so that I can connect with you. So how do I connect in a group? Very, very important. The way I can communicate in the group is compliment. Let's say I'm talking about team culture. Assume you are the project manager or you're the project lead of of your present project, and you are leading a team of 10 plus people. You have to connect in a group. Look for ways to genuinely compliment people. I have found somehow majority of us are stingy about complimenting. I don't know why. It doesn't cost you money, but it can make somebody's day better. I'll give a live example, a very live example. Place where I'm sitting, it is my office table right now, and suddenly I came just yesterday's. I'll talk about yesterday's story. It's an amazing story. It can help you to connect with your spouse, by the way. So I came across and I saw my table is absolutely clean. There are a lot of dust around because it's close to terrace, and India is a place where a lot of dust is around. So my table was filled of dust, and my tablecloth was dirty. And I suddenly came and I saw it is clean, white, properly placed. Everything is proper. I could not believe it. I knew one thing for sure: it has not happened automatically. That's for sure. It has not happened automatically. I immediately took a picture. I sent a WhatsApp message to her. Thank you so much. I loved it. You have done a great job. You know what? We many a times fail complimenting people. Many a times. If you see anything good from now on, I'm telling you, folks. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, and listen carefully. I'm your friend. Okay, listen carefully. Anything which has happened good has not happened automatically. Somebody has put effort. My question to you is this: Have you recognized? When was the last time you recognized good things happening in your life? When was the last time? Connect with people, compliment them. If they have done something good, never, ever, ever let go that appreciation. And the best time to give appreciation is immediate. Do not delay it for the appraisal. Never delay it for the appraisal. Immediate, very, very important. And you know what? In corporate, people are having fear. I mean, if I give compliment in the end of the hike, what will he ask? Forget it. Forget it. Give compliment. I'm telling you, give compliment. If people are doing hard work, you should give them right compliments. Very, very important. Second thing, look forward to add value to people. How do you add value? I'll always sit with my team and I'll see what value addition they need, what skill sets they need. If they need anything from my end, I will make sure I'll provide the resources to them. I will do with them whatever is required. I'll fight for them. That's how you connect in the group. Third thing, don't take credit for the success. This is one thing which most of people working in corporate atmosphere are fed up with. They always believe I am putting all the hard work and somebody else is taking credit. So don't take credit when the team is succeeding, neither cast blame when the team is failing. Very, very important. Very, very important. If you do that, I will tell you, you will connect terrifically in a group. Your group will be having a thriving atmosphere. People will fight for each other. There'll be team bonding. There'll be strong unity, and you will see your production has skyrocketed 10 times. Very, very important. It happens. And find ways to celebrate success. This is one thing which I learned. I mean, I was a guy who will always wait for the big victory before I celebrate. And then one day, one of my mentor told me, "Ki Vijay, this is not how your team will grow. If you have to grow your team, you have to grow your organization. You have to develop a culture of celebrating small victories. You don't have to wait for the big thing. Small victories. You achieved a mile marker, celebrate. You achieve second mile marker, celebrate. And grand victory, mega celebration. But remember one thing, no matter what you celebrate, again get back to work. That is very important. Get back to work, and for that I have a very special line which I have read in John Maxwell's one of the book, a very amazing line. It says, yesterday ended last night. Very important. And the last thing I'll tell you, how to connect in people and public speaking. Assuming you are a public speaker and you have to speak in public, how do you connect? I can give you three simple points. First thing, observe world class communicators, how they communicate. Observe them. You will learn 90% of the things in the world are learned by observing people. I observe. I gave two to three good examples of the public speaker, which I like them. Now, this is not the only exhaustive list. You can like your own personal celebrities. Everybody has their own personal choice. I'm talking about mine, which I like. Narendra Modi, I told you. Bill Clinton. That this guy is the best communicator. I mean, I liked his communication style, amazingly well communication style. The way he connect with the audience, the way he connect people, unbelievable, unbelievable. Third, Steve Jobs. This guy, again, I mean, if you see his presentation skills, his slides will be hardly 4 or 5 slides. I mean, he communicate with a different aura altogether. Bill Gates, another great communicator. Terrific. I mean, I'm just giving this list can be huge, but I just gave 4 or 5. Secondly, if you're connected with an audience, if you're on a stage, I'm telling you, let's say you are on a stage, even if it's a technical presenter, a lot of people come and ask me, sir, technical presenters, how will I put energy? I said, come on. The only reason you'll not have a passion for the technical project is you are not sold out for that project. You are just giving presentation for the sake of presentation. If you assume you are giving a presentation on a technology, okay, on a technology which you really liked on, what do you think? You'll be sitting on the table or what? Come on, you cannot sit on the table and talk. You will be jumping here and there. It means the presentations which you are giving, if you are not sold out to that, that's where energy doesn't come. Even if it is technical project, I have done so many technical presentations also where there were numbers, and 80% time I did miserable job. You know why? I was not connecting with them. I was not passionate about it. And needless to say, I come out of the technical job quite early. I realized that is not my passion. I can get hike, I can get a job, but that is not my passion. So I came out. I do not want to waste even a single day just for the sake of making money. If there is no passion, I am a guy who will not waste my time at all. And I came out. Third thing, if you can give examples with the audience which is relatable. Now let's take an example. I many times go as a keynote speaker, and if I go to some company and I have to understand the local crowd there. If I have to be there, I have to understand the local people there. What is their need? Can I get some examples from there? And if I can connect with them, they will connect me with you well. And that's what I wanted to share today. And I'll share again. I'll come back again. And I'm sure a lot of you will have some questions. It was a great session. I gave you some ideas and some tips. This is just the beginning, and we'll have few more sessions. Again, I will come back live on Friday. Friday, same 10 p.m. I'll come again, and we'll have some more half an hour time together. Meanwhile, what I can suggest, if you have some questions, we can have 5 or 10 minutes question answer session. Let me see if you have anybody have any question. That's a very good. Hi, Hina has asked a very nice question. What if I want to connect a person and I can't find? I mean, this is a very, very good. I think it will be visible to all of you. What if I want to connect to a person and I can't find a common subject to communicate? That's a very good question. Let me help you out to understand. Actually, if you put your energy and you try to understand the person, you will find some common ground. Take an example. I find a lot of difficulty connecting with youngsters now. Because I am now close to 41 and I find it very difficult. But what I found, if you want to connect, just ask them 3 to 4 simple questions. I'll give you a very simple background to connect. You will see they will connect with you right away. Try to ask them about their childhood. Just try this for 1 week and let me know how it works. Ask them about their childhood. Ask them about certain victories of their life if they have achieved something in their life. Ask them about their. Nobody in the world will be scared to talk about their achievements. They will talk whole night for their achievements. Ask them what are this. I always ask people, give me some of them. How was your achievement? And if you go to somebody's house, if you want to connect, I mean, I was pathetic in this area. To be honest, there were a long time I never communicate with anybody. I'm a person who will not talk to at all. If it is related to my business discussion, I will talk. Otherwise, I will not talk. And slowly, I read a book. It's a very classical book. All of you should read this book if you can order. It is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a powerful book. And I made it a habit from now on that anytime I go to somebody's house, I will try to observe. You go to somebody's house, you'll see in their drawing room, there are certain photos, there are certain achievements, awards will be there. Initially, I was a nerd. I used to go to the house and I'll not observe anything. I'll just go and sit and I have my drink and food and I'll come out. But then after reading this book, I realized how foolish I am. If somebody in their drawing room is putting certain photos or certain achievements, what does it mean? They're proud about it. Just try this next week and let me know whether it connects or not. I mean, this time you cannot do because there's a social locking for this all. After this, lockdown, you'll get this time. So what you do is when you go to somebody's house, and now when I go and I see some trophy, I say, "What is this trophy all about? What does it signify?" I see some photo, I talk towards them. Where did you do it? And you will see immediately you'll connect. Actually, connecting is not about us. So connecting is about others. You ask them a couple of questions, and you'll see they'll connect with you. Anybody else? Any other questions if you have? Raja has a very good question. How to maintain the initial time, first 1 minute during the public speaking? All right, I'll tell you first thing first. Don't be nervous. Be natural. Be extremely natural. Now, see, I'm a person who get into momentum after 5 minutes. There are a lot of public speakers who connect in the first 5 minutes. They put a lot of energy. Now, I'm a person who takes some time to warm up. So I realize I don't have to compare myself with those speakers who are like that. So what you should do is, if you want to connect, be authentic, be natural. Yes, you can improve on it. Be natural. And the best thing I do is I go in the stage. I mean, I have spoken in front of 5,000 plus audience by now. So the first thing when I go into the audience, I intensely start shouting. I just start putting energy. Then what happens? The first 1 or 2 minutes, I'm comfortable and I try to be natural. My natural style is more important than copying somebody else. So never try to copy anybody, because if you try to copy, what will happen? I'll tell you, you will be second best in copying others, whereas you will be number one in your own style. Another question somebody has: how to connect with a person who has shy personality? That's a good one. Another question. Okay, anybody else had a question? Great point. Any other question? Anybody else? Anybody else? Not sure, but meeting with someone at first time, it's difficult to know much details. You're right. You're right, Arun. That's a very valid question. When you meet somebody for the first time, you will not know much about them. Isn't it true? Let's say now I'm talking to you. I'll not know much about you right now. But what I've found, if you take that effort and ask them easy 4 questions, I'll tell you 4 questions, write it down. I mean, already I've given, just summarizing again. Best question I ask them: where are you from? Which city you are from? And you will see they will start talking about the city. And if you know it, if you know some about the culture, try to know more about detail. Tell them how was the schooling, how was the childhood. Some people you'll see they're reluctant to talk. In that case, you cannot do much. See, it's like communication always a two-way channel. If somebody do not want to communicate, what can I do? I have to stop that time, right or not? But if they're giving, if but I will take my initiative. I always ask, I'm okay if they don't respond, but I will always take that first initiative and I'll talk. I'll try to understand them. If they connect well, great. If they don't, I'm okay. That's very, very important. So always ask 3 4 simple questions. Which city they are in? Form. I can give you an acronym. Form. FORM. Write it down. F stands for family. If you talk about the family, people people love to talk about the family. If they have kids, talk about the kids. Occupation. People love to talk about the occupation. If they're a technical architect, I'll tell you, I've never worked in software engineering. I'm a VLSI engineer. I've worked in circuit designing. but I can tell you some basics of C, C++, .NET, Java, and all this. You know how I came to know about all this thing? I have a team which is from all the background, and I keep asking them, how does this work? How does Java works? How does .NET? So I know at least this is the interface. I may not do the coding for sure, but at least I know how SAP works, how this works. You know how I came to know? I ask them. I always ask them about their profession. I always ask them, tell me more about it. How is it interesting? I take interest. If you take genuine interest in people, I'll tell you they'll connect with you. Very, very important. Anybody else? Any other question? All right, Abhishek Desai. That's good. You have taken a good notes, Abhishek. Vilas, very nice. You've done a very good job. You have taken very, very good notes. All right. Anybody else? Any question? Did I miss out anybody? By the way, don't shy away. I'll send you a Google form, and I keep doing certain webinars on a weekly basis. And if you're here for the very first time, what I can tell you is subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll keep meeting further. And subscribe to our future of the program so that we can work together. FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation. Recreation means what do they like to do in the free time, and then obviously message, and you talk about yourself. So form is family, occupation, recreation, and message. Easiest way to communicate. It was great talking to all of you, and if you have still further question, I can tell you, you can I can give you one of my Google form. You can connect with that and drop me your messages, and you can WhatsApp me. My WhatsApp number is 7019 253453. If you have any question, don't hesitate sending me the WhatsApp number, and I'd like to talk to you more and more. Thank you so much. It was great talking to all of you, and connect with me again on Friday, 10 p.m. on the further discussion about how to connect with people. Thank you so much.